What if this grief was meant for you? What if this grief was for you to serve a purpose? What do I mean by this grief? I'm talking about your broken heart. I'm talking about the pain that you're feeling within your broken heart. What if we thought about it different? What if we didn't think grief was something to get away from? What if we didn't think that grief was something we needed to run from? What if we ran towards the grief knowing that it was the only way out? Oh my gosh, what if we've had it wrong this whole time? Think about that. What if we've had it wrong this whole time and we've been avoiding the grief, and the grief is the one way out of this pain? What if I'm right? You guys thought about that? What if I'm right? What if the only way to get out of this is through it? And what if the only way to get through it is right through the middle of it? Sharon, what the heck are you talking about? I'm talking about this. So many of us think we're doing grief wrong because it hurts so bad. So many of us think that we're doing grief wrong because it hurts so bad. And so many of us don't know what to do. So we think we're doing grief wrong. So then when we turn to our closest friends and neighbors and ask them how did they grieve, then to only find out they're still grieving, they're still crying. And it starts this confusion. Then when you realize you've only been in for 6 months and people are telling you should be over it by now. And why is that? Because society has made grief wrong. Society has made grief something that we should be avoiding. Because our culture handles grief wrong, all they think is that it's this messy, ugly show of emotions, and that it should be cleaned up, swept under the rugs, not talked about, put behind us as soon as possible, and fixed. So you've known him for 37 years. You were married to him for 37 years. You knew him 3 years before that. You've had a 40-year relationship with this person, and he dies. And everyone around you is telling you, you should be over this already. That you should be over this already. It should be done. How is it that you're still grieving? Why are you still grieving, my friend? Maybe it's because you've had a 40-year relationship with him. My friends, grief serves a purpose. We're supposed to grieve. We are supposed to grieve. We came here with the ability to grieve. We knew how to grieve when we got here. We see small children from the ages of 4 to 7, they can figure out the grieving process on their own. I can see it happening with them. The way they talk to their parents after their grandparents have died, the way they share about their loss, within their pure soul, they can grieve. So if a child came here already with the ability to grieve and they understand that they're going to love their grandma and their grandmother is gone and they're going to miss her, but they're still mad about her telling them she was getting them that tricycle, but that tricycle never came on time, and they're still talking about that story. But they're going to forgive her now because even though they love her, they know she loved him. If a 4-year-old can grieve and can figure out the process, what is wrong with us as adults? And what are we doing? What are we doing to our people that we're helping grieve? We're prolonging the grief. I'm going to read a little passage from Megan Devine's It's Okay Not to Be Okay. Here's what I most want you to know. This is as bad as you think. I most want you to know, this is what Megan says, it is as bad as you think. No matter what anyone else says to you, grief sucks. This sucks 100%. What has happened cannot be made right. What is lost cannot be restored. Donovan is not coming back. There is no beauty here inside this central fact. Acknowledgement is everything. That's it. Acknowledgement is everything. Acknowledge that you are grieving. Acknowledge that this sucks. Acknowledge that it's going to be painful. Acknowledge that you don't know how to do it. You're in pain. And I promise you, right now, it can't be made better by just sitting around and waiting for it to get better. The reality of grief is far different from what others see from the outside. There is pain in this world, and you can't be cheered out of it. The grief was given to you for a purpose, my friend. It is for you to review your relationship with your loved one. This grief was given for you to think about and feel how much you love them. And I'm going to add, and how much you hate them. We can absolutely grieve somebody we hate. People don't want to hear that, but I don't think people talk about it enough. I've been married to him for 24 years. We got a divorce. We haven't spoken in years. He was the worst person to me. I can't sit here and say that I love him because it's not true. There were moments that I absolutely hated him, but I can still grieve him. He's the father of my children. My children are going through this. They're grieving. I've got to help them through it. You will still grieve someone that you hate. The grieving process was given to us. It is innately within us. I can't even tell you guys how many times I meet people that absolutely understand what to do. They know what to do. They will set up a new tradition on their own because it just feels right. They know they need to celebrate the birthday of their loved one. They know, and that's not something you need to do, but they within them, they know they want to celebrate the birthday of their loved one. Trust me, my friends, I know what has happened to you is not fair. Having your child die before you is not fair. Having your best friend that you told all of your secrets to die is not fair. It ain't fair. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that this grief is yours. It's yours to do with however you choose to do with it. I want you to think of it as a gift. I want you to think of it as a gift that I'm handing to you. Oh, friend, I'm sorry to hear about your loss. I can't imagine what it's like for you. I cannot imagine what it's like to go on this earth without your mom here. Here's the gift of grief. Please, I want you to know it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. And some days you're going to not want to be on this earth. And if that street opened up and a big hole formed in front of you, I'm sure you would jump into it. I know that you're confused. I know you don't understand, but accept this grief. It's yours. Care for it. Tend to it. Water it. Love it. Hate it. Yell and scream at it, but know that it's yours. And know that it was given to you. Know that it was given to you as a process to go through. We often believe that the goal of this grief is to get to the end of it as fast as possible. Okay, let's see if I can do this in 1 month. Let's see if I can do this in 2 months. Let's see if I can do this in 3 months. And that at the end, we're going to miraculously be made new. First of all, I don't know how long it's going to take. For each and every one of it, it takes a different time. And the reason that I don't know is because I don't know your relationship with him. I don't know your relationship with her. Depending on how deep it was and how much was left unsaid, can tell you about how much you have to grieve. You cannot run through this as fast as possible. First of all, the first month through the 6th month, you're numb and confused and you don't know which way to turn. So there's 6 months gone right there. It'd be shorter. Could be 3 months, could be 4 months. Most times, by the time people find me, is when the numbness is worn off and the pain almost seems unbearable. It seems unbearable, like you're not going to be able to get through it, or that you're going to be like this for the rest of your life. Most people, when they contact me, that's the time that they contact me. So know that you have to go through this step by step. Now, what makes it a little bit better is the action steps that you take within time of grieving. You have to do action to move you beyond the pain. The first action you have to do is acknowledge that you're grieving. Acknowledge that you're a griever. Acknowledge that the worst thing possible has just happened to you. Acknowledge that this is not going to be fun, but that you're going to figure your way through this. Acknowledge that you're going to allow whatever emotions show up for you to just be there. Today, if you're angry and you're angry as hell, just be angry. That's part of your grief. Those emotions are yours. Nobody else in this world can feel them but you. They were given to you, and it's part of this grieving experience. We will be forever changed. You will never be the same Sharon that you were the day before Donovan died. You will never be the same Sharon that you were the day before your dad died. And each time you have a loss, which for most of us will be multiple losses, and each time you have a loss, you come out a little different. Not better, not worse, different. You're going to be different. And that I can guarantee you. The first thing that we have to start doing is acknowledging that grief is for us. The grief is here to serve a purpose. It's not what we're normally used to. We are normally used to finding the place called happiness. You know, the little island up the coast of the Pacific. There's a little island, it's called happiness, and we're all trying to get there. That's not it. This is something that will live in with you. It will live in your gut. It will live in your heart, and it will change you. And it sucks. And there will be days where you feel like you absolutely can't do it. But the thing that I promise you is that once you go through it, you'll be able to look back at it and see every aspect of it. You will be able to look back at it, and you'll be able to share that experience with others. And you will now show up for your friends and family as the grief support that you needed and wanted. Grief is for us to serve a purpose. Accept your grief, my friend. Accept what was been given to you. Honor it, love it, and tend to it. You will be so happy that you did. My friends, I have a link below to my program, Forever Change. If you're interested in joining a program, an action-based program to help you move beyond the pain of grief, click the link below. There's a couple of options in there. You can meet me and we can do a one-on-one, or you can sign up for the program. Either way, I'm honored to be here with you. I see you, I know you, and I am a griever as well. Thank you, friends.